I am Pascoyaki. My tribe is from Sonora, Mexico. We farm the rich soil along the Yaqui River. Some of us were pushed north, then the border crossed us in what is now Arizona. I grew up here in what is called the San Joaquin Valley, the agricultural capital of the world. Pushed here because my family was offered work. Work they knew. I was told by an elder that we carry the memories of our ancestors in our blood. Thousands of years of memory uploaded into my soul.
And this red dot means, and this red blinking light means it's recording. That's it.
My dad has always made a point to make sure that we were connected to our culture. And so we would go to Arizona every year to go to my ceremony that happens during Easter. And it's expensive, and my dad would take overtime, do whatever he had to do to make sure that we were connected to our culture. This is my mother. She is the strongest person that I know. She supports anything that I want to do, which is why she's putting these giant cinder blocks in the ground for me. This is my brother, Noah, both my brothers actually, Noah and Isaiah, the boys of the family. That's Luis, my roommate, like a brother to me. And so we're just flattening out the dirt. To have compost, you have to have organic material if you want to create things. Things don't just pop out of nowhere. So that's my baby brother. He's 13, and I'm very blessed that he likes to help his big sister out. Oh yeah, these are my dogs. They're good at supervising. That's about it. Anyway, so we put scraps of paper in here to start with. That's all that's in there. It's just like scraps of newspaper. These are the actual worms. They're kind of gross, yeah. But they're really important. They actually create, well, their poop they're called worm castings. And it is like gold when you're farming, when you're gardening, whatever it may be. They're really valuable. They're worth a lot of money. And I just do it. I start with worms instead of buying the castings. So you have to add dead stuff. Worms like dead things, and compost is basically dead stuff. So that's just some grass we picked up from the ground. Made sure it had no bugs on it or anything. This is my fridge. It's dirty, yeah. But what I'm looking for in here is things that are already decomposing, things that we probably wouldn't eat anyway. So these strawberries were kind of wilty looking. And so we're gonna break those up and add them to the compost the worms need to eat. So this is me digging through my trash. I made everybody breakfast, so we had some eggshells. They are really good for the soil. Some people even use them as seed starter. Like they break the egg in half and then they put dirt in the egg to grow seedlings in. It's really cool. I'm using this lemon. It's not an egg. I'm not squeezing an egg. This is a lemon. And you have to have acid in your compost in order to break things down faster, because worms, they eat a lot, but not enough that it will break it down fast enough. And if it doesn't break it down fast enough, you're going to end up with mold, which you don't want. So this is my brother. We're putting kind of the crappy dirt into these holes so that I don't have to use so much good dirt in the holes. So this is kind of manure mixture, compost. This is what I'm putting in the holes. These are the marigold seeds. I decided to go with marigolds. They're really good for this area. They can handle the heat that we get every year. So those are the marigold seeds. So you just put a little hole, and then you put a couple seeds in, and you cover your hole back up, and then you water it. And that's pretty much it. Plants are, I think that I enjoy plants because they're just so resilient. They need so little and they do so well. just on their own. They have this kind of will to live, and they'll do whatever they have to do. I've seen plants do crazy things, and sometimes you think they're dead and they're not. So here I'm digging really deep holes because I'm gonna put carrots in there, and carrots need a lot of space, otherwise they grow crooked. Unfortunately, I'm kind of poor, so I can't do the trenches like you would typically see somebody garden, because that would take a lot of soil, and this is what I have. So we're just kind of doing the best we can and making sure that the plants that we do have, we can take really good care of. And so that's why I decided to do it like this, just because of the limited amount of soil and stuff I can buy. So I'm filling the carrot holes with this soil. Like I said, the soil that's already there, it's not great. It's very clay-like. I could probably make a pot out of this dirt, like not even exaggerating. This is where I'm gonna put tomatoes. Tomatoes do really well. If you ever want, like, have kids or you want to start them on gardening, I would definitely start with tomatoes. They're some of the easiest things you can grow is tomato. This is actually my first year doing carrots, and I'm pretty sure I added too many seeds into this hole. You add too many seeds to anything and you overcrowd it, they start fighting for resources and you don't get as many of a good yield. So they came out alright. So just putting the seeds in the holes that I just created. So these are seedlings that I started a while before this. These are a mixture of things. There's jalapenos, there is bell peppers, and tomatoes. So they're in these seed starters, which are these little pods of dirt, and they're wrapped in a net. And so I break the net open to give the roots room to spread when I put them in the ground. So right here I'm putting the tomato seedlings in to that area. So when I showed the planting earlier, there are certain vegetables that grow really well together and certain vegetables that do not do well together, and you kind of have to do a little bit of research. Most of what I know I was taught from my elders in the community that they themselves garden. I made sure that, like, these tomatoes take a lot of water, and so they're right next to my cucumbers. So those plants both take a lot of water, so I planted them next to each other. But I think through this whole process, I've learned that the most important part of gardening is that you respect these plants as living things. And it's not like an animism kind of thing that you hear about Native Americans talking about, or that stereotypic Native American thing. I was taught by my elders that plants are living things and they deserve the same amount of respect that we would give to anything else, because they're here on this planet. Mother Earth gave them to us so that we can survive, because without them we can't survive, and without us they couldn't survive. You know, there's just that relationship we have with all these plants, and it's important. And if we don't take care of them and, you know, do what we have to do to make sure that they survive and take care of this planet, because we're not the only ones on it, then we're not going to make it. And it's going to be hard for future generations. We talk about the 7th generation, meaning that what I do today is going to affect the future. It's going to affect 7 generations in front of me. And that's really important. And, you know, now as an adult, as somebody who has responsibility of somebody else, it's really important, because I've started my 7th generation with my son.